Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairily Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me for episode 42. So today we will be talking about project updates from last month, what I worked on in the month of August, which is some FOs, some new works in progress, and the Advent calendar updates, and a new Spook-a-long coming up in the Facebook group, and some plans for the month of September. So before we get into everything, I would like to give a very warm welcome if you are a new viewer, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss new videos as they come out. And as always, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. So find all my stuff here. From last month, I had talked to you about starting a 100% linen camisole that I am designing myself. And I showed you my progress, and I ripped out the whole thing. I was 10 inches in, and I put it on some tried-on tubing, and it was huge. So I ripped it all out, and I started over. I'm almost ready to separate the front and back. So I'm in the middle of bust shaping right now, which I'm trying out a theory, and I put this on tried on tubing yesterday, August 30th. I'm actually filming this on August 31st. So I put this on tried on tubing, and I put it on top of what I was wearing yesterday just to see if my bust shaping idea was totally off the wall, or if it's probably going to work. And I actually think it might work. So the next step is to decide when to divide the fronts and backs. And it's already longer than I had anticipated for that, which is probably spot on, because usually I end up making everything too short. So maybe this time it'll work out okay. So I will have more to say about this once it's further along, but I have worked a ton on it, not in the month of August, or not the second half of August, but I have worked a ton on this, and it is coming along, and my yarn is getting less and less. But I'm really excited to have the cami almost done. It's living in a bag that I made years ago when my kids were tiny. It's Captain America fabric. So that is the knitting project carried over from last month. And as far as the commission spin, I got it finished and shipped out. The deadline was today, and I got it shipped out at the beginning of this week. So 6 days ago or so. It was Monday. Today is Saturday. So it's done. It's delivered, and I'm so happy with it. So that is all for updates from last month. What I worked on in August is I dyed up all the Advent colors for the 12 Days of Desserts Advent, and I made rolags out of one dessert, for one dessert. And I'm actually going to show you a leftover bit that I had where the rolag didn't turn out very well. And this is the only one of the Advent I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you which dessert it is. You'll have to guess which dessert it is. Now these will all have a picture and be labeled of what dessert they are when you open your Advent. Advent pre-orders are closed once I'm done making. If anybody's still interested in getting a set, if I have any extras, I will reopen the listing for you to purchase one. But I'm really happy with this first of the 12 Days of Desserts roll eggs. And I did get all of them done for all the, so each colorway is actually 12 sets of roll eggs that I have to make on one blending board. So I have to make the same thing 12 times in order to fulfill all of the orders, plus the 1 or 2 extras that I'm waiting to see if they're going to be claimed, and if they're not, they're going to be for sale later. Unless I decide to spin one. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm really excited about those, and I wish I had gotten more done, but I didn't, and that's okay. I have started some gift knitting and decided to put the scrap stash down aside for now. I will have a video in a couple of weeks of what I did in August for that, and I'll go ahead and show you what I made in August. So I think this was the first scrap socks, and these were the second, and the third, and then I started my gift knits. So I had already added this gold color to the scrap stash last month. And so since I was pairing it with scraps, it's considered a part of the scrap bust, scrap down, whatever. So this is my design, and I did purchase the knitting software, the pattern writing software, so that I could actually create real charts and put them into a document. So at some point these will be going out to be tested. I have a few more that I want to knit. It's just taken me about a year to get to this point where I'm ready to start sampling my own pattern. But I'm really happy that the first gift knit is done. And there will be more to say about all of those in the scrap down video that is coming out in a couple of weeks. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to hit that notification bell, because yeah. But I sat down and I planned out gift knitting sock wise for 6 people. So, and I think that includes myself. So yeah, that's 6 people. No, that's not including me because of my mom's in there. Anyway, I have all the sock yarn that I dyed up years and years and years ago when I first tried to start my business. And it just didn't go well. I had Etsy back then, and that was like the first time I tried to have an online store. And it didn't work out. So now I dye wool and I love it more. But that's all I can tell you about the gift knitting and the scrap down, except that the next scrap down video will be in a few months, because I am gift knitting first, and I will be adding to the scrap stash while I'm doing all this gift knitting, and then we can get back to the scrap busting. But I have the big blanket I started last year near the beginning of August that I really want to finish. It's too big right now to be working on during the heat. We've had 100-degree days for the past week, and it is miserably hot. So I might snuggle up underneath it. It's sitting on the bed right by the camera, like just a few feet over that way. So I keep looking at it, but I got cold this morning, so I put it over my lap while I was knitting, and then I got hot, so I took it off. I'm either having an Arctic blast or a hot flash. There is no in between. Gotta love this time of life, you know? Not only that, but I also started, not only did I plan out all of those knits and then those Christmas gifts, and then switch things up, and then switch them up again, and then switch them up again, but I started a super secret project, which I'm actually going to show you, but in black and white. So I don't want you to see the colors. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It is my huge secret Christmas project. It is a ginormous knit, and let me just show it to you. No, don't fall on the floor. Can you tell what it is? It is knit on US 2 needles, and I am using hand spun lace yarn held double with mohair, and it is killing my hand. So I knit on it and I knit on it and I knit on it for hours and hours, and I get that much done. And it's on this huge circular needle because it's a lot of stitches, and I keep having to stop and move stitches around the needle without breaking my needles, because I do not want to do that. These are Haya sock interchangeable needles, and they are not cheap, and they are some of my favorite knitting needles. So trying to be careful and patient with that, but it will pick up speed now that I am not spending all of my time knitting socks, and it is slowly shrinking in the number of stitches. But that's all I'm going to say about it. So, little teaser there. What am I working on? Those of you who know, because some of you do, don't spoil it for anybody, please. So this super secret Christmas project will have its own separate video, which you will see somewhere around Christmas time. We'll see if I get it finished on schedule or not. It is hugely involved, and the video takes you through the process from swatching, from picking a pattern to blending the fibers, spinning them, and knitting. And no, I have not filmed all of that yet because I already had some of the yarn spun, and I am in the process of blending more. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and get started on the monumental knitting, and I'm so glad I did. So anyway, aside from that, I've done some other dyeing. I needed to I have a vending opportunity coming up in November right after Thanksgiving, and so I want to make a bunch of felted pumpkins, and I'm out of orange wool. So I dyed up 3 colors of orange wool, and then while I was thinking another day, I was like, you know what? I really want to make green and purple pumpkins because those are weird, you know? I've carded up the green and the purple already. Aren't those pretty? And this is actually inspired by my new colorway, which is now live. It is I Smell Children on Mixed BFL. So it is a Hocus Pocus themed fiber, and it comes with a stitch marker, which I'm actually going to insert a little clip. But there's mine. It's a little cauldron with a candy apple in it. Super cute. And I'm hanging these on my lights behind me. It's a place to keep all my handmade stitch markers. And this is a collaboration. So I'm going to jump you over to that footage really quick and let you watch that. So Gabby of Frozen Twinkies Twinkets sent me some stitch markers to go with the I Smell Children colorway, and this is what was all in the package. So look at her packaging. Is that not adorable? Aww, just a little something for you. This is too sweet. So these are not part of the collab here. These are extras. Oh, it's so cute. It's a cauldron. It's a cauldron with a little candy apple in it. Oh, I love that. And it's nice and lightweight. Oh, and a plain candy apple. Okay, so those are extras. Those are for me. That's so sweet. Thank you, Gabby. Now, these are the ones for the packages. And there is, I'm going to open one of them. So I know that I've ordered 6. So I know that there's these little cauldrons. There's 2 of those. There's 2 little kitty cats. And there's 2 witches' hats. So which one is this? There's a little witch's hat. These are really light. It is super adorable, guys. I have 2 witches' hats. And they are really well packaged. Okay. Then there are, she has a choking hazard warning, and then she's got a little note with a coupon code to her shop. Now let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is the other one. Okay. It is. Okay. So here's the other one. He's a little cat with a witch's hat. Oh, these are so freaking adorable. Look at that. Like, okay, so this is my Harry Potter themed one for comparison. Such a different size and so much lighter. Definite improvement on her skills. So there are a total of 2 of each of these. 2 each of the kitty cat, 2 each of the witch's hat, and 2 each of the cauldron with the candy apple. And it will be a random. One will be included with your purchase of the fiber, which I will grab. And the coupon code is good for the month of October. Whoop, September and October. Okay, so this is the I Smell Children colorway. And one of the little stitch markers that was made with the same Hocus Pocus theme. So that's one of the options when you purchase. You will get either the cat, the cauldron, or the witch's hat. Okay, so we're back. I hope you are as excited about the Spook-a-long as I am. And I do have 5 of these because one of them is mine. So the camera is just not doing this justice. The colors are so rich and vibrant. It's just, it looks washed out and pale and like bleh in the camera. It's really vibrant and pretty. So I'm very, very excited about this. And it being a collaboration, each braid comes with either a cat, little black cat, a witch's hat, or a cauldron stitch marker, as I showed a second ago. And I'm really excited about these. They're 4 ounces each, and I did dye up the last of my undyed BFL I got from Ashland Bay about 4 or 5 years ago. No, more like 3 years ago, when I first got my tax ID number. And then I didn't place any more orders because it took me years to get through it. And then Ashland Bay closed. So they were actually taken over by another company. I now have a source that I can access again. More of that later on. There's a lot of plans for next year. So I hope you guys are as excited about the Spook-a-long as I am. And that leads me a little bit off my notes. But the Spook-a-long is running from October 1st through the 31st, and it is anything fall and or spooky themed, knitting, crocheting, weaving, spinning, whatever it is. I will be spinning up mine as a fractal spin, and you will see that video in October. And I hope you will join me over in the Facebook group. There are links to everything down in the show notes below. So go check that out and join in the group if you haven't already. I am denying every member request that is an obvious bot or a scammer. So if I deny you, you might want to send me a message and say, hey, I applied, I got denied, but I really want to be a part of the group. Then I will reconsider. But I've been denying left and right because it's like the same person, the same profile picture with about 10 different names. I'm getting really tired of them applying for membership to the group. And my whole focus is to keep Fairily Fiber Fun a very nice, very warm, welcome atmosphere. And I don't want any drama, and I don't want any unnecessary junk going on. So I'm trying to keep it nice and pristine, if you will. I want you to feel comfortable in the group, and I want you to feel like you can talk about anything you need to talk about. You can have fun, you can relax. I don't want anybody to be afraid they're going to be bullied or that something they're doing isn't okay. So it is what it is. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And I kind of feel like I've got too much going on because I'm working on September stuff while it is August. But I'm also planning for October and for November. Now that it is, well, tomorrow would be September. I'm working on September, October, November, and December. It's like, oh my God. I'm working on 4 months at a time, and I'm just feel like I'm all over the place. But it's okay. It's okay. Focus on one thing at a time, and it's all good. So, listing for this is open now. Get them before they're gone because they will be gone soon. And the stitch marker that is included has already been added to the price and the weight of the product. And these are very cutely packaged. Plus, Gabby has offered everybody a discount code, which you will get if you purchase one of these braids of fiber. September plans. I've already started working on this. I blended some fibers together. I'm going to show you the bat I'm currently working on. This is some Gulf Coast wool that I dyed, and yeah, it's Gulf Coast. But my son helped me scour the beginning of summer break. And I've mixed it with 40% or so tinsel. It's more like 45%. And the rest is wool. And the wool was dyed a very light green because I didn't dye it the right color. I didn't care. I just throw in some dye and some wool in there, and like whatever it comes out, it comes out. This is really pretty. It's not that flattering, but I can wear it. So originally I was thinking a summer top. Then I got to thinking a t-shirt. And now I'm thinking it might be something else. We'll see. I don't know yet. We'll see how much yardage I get, how thick it is, and so far, like, this is the first of 3 bats, and I've barely spun any of it. This is kind of the back burner spin. It will be a film eventually. I filmed a little bit of it so far. So when I get it done, it'll be a video. But for now, that is my current work in progress, which will have to take a back seat so that I can spin up my super secret yarn. And then my head has exploded this past week. I've been feeling rather down emotionally and physically for a few weeks. And I've spent a lot of time planning The problem with planning is that you can make all the plans in the world, but if you don't do something with those plans, they just sit there and do nothing. So, like, I planned out 6 pair of socks for Christmas gift knits, and actually yesterday I did a marathon cast on, and I cast on 3 pair of socks. I still had one on the needle. But I now have enough needles to work on 3 socks. To have 3 socks on the needles at once and not be forced to only work on one at a time, which is weird. I'm a very monogamous knitter, so to have 3 socks, 3 different socks, not even the same socks. Like these are not pairs. These are individual, 1 sock from each person. If I had more needles, I would have cast on more. So when I cast on, I start the cuff, like for this one, and I knit a few rows, and then I cast on the next one, knit a few rows, and then I cast on the next one. Yeah. I'm feeling a little weird, a little crazy, and I keep looking at the needles sticking out of all my yarns, and I'm like, what has gotten into me? This is not normal. I don't know what's going on. So I would love to get all now 5 pair of socks knit in September, but let's face it, they aren't all going to get done, as I do have the bigger knitting project that I have to finish before Christmas, or else it doesn't turn into a Christmas project. Okay, so ideally I would like to have it done the end of November so that I'm not stressing. I don't really care about finishing this summer blend, but I would like to spin this up. I don't know if I'm going to pre-film it in September or if I'm going to spin it in October with the Spook-a-long group. We shall see. It might be fun to participate daily with that. And then I've got some alpaca I need to scour, and you know, we were having hurricane weather. We're too far in from the coast to get direct hurricanes, but we get massive thunderstorms, and sometimes trees will fall. We get a lot more tornadoes than we do hurricanes, but where I live, the tornadoes kind of go around us, so I don't ever have damage from tornadoes. Occasional tree falling, like one fell on my roof. Didn't damage my roof, but it damaged the neighbors. We're in an attached apartment, so I guess one of the branches just kind of punched through her roof while it just landed on mine. Anyway, they replaced the roof the next year anyway. But that was weird to have my neighbor call me and say, "Did you know you have a tree hanging over your house?" I do what? That's what that crash was. I felt so dumb. Okay. So, anyway, back to the story at hand, because I got derailed there. I put the alpaca outside on my skirting table, and I was going to let the rain wash it. At least get the dirt out of it, right? Decided not to rain for a freaking week. Longer, actually. I left it out there for a whole week, and it didn't rain. So I brought it inside. It still hasn't rained. I was hoping if I brought it in, it would rain again. Anyway, so I've got alpaca to scour and card. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do some sample spinning for the vending opportunity. I don't think I want to have fiber to spin so much as I want to have finished stuff. So some hand spun alpaca would be pretty neat. I'm probably going to blend it with wool. I don't know. We'll see if I get to that or not. I have so much else to do. I've got sheep to felt in different colors and pumpkins. I want to do some bigger, more involved shroomscapes like I used to do instead of the little cheap ones. I want to do the bigger, more complicated ones that I prefer. And I'm not knitting baby socks, although I'm awfully tempted to use some of my scraps for baby socks. but I'm just trying to limit the amount of stuff I'm trying to do so that I can get everything accomplished. And of course, the advent calendar has to be finished. Plus, I have the custom one that I will start dyeing for as soon as the weather gets just cool enough where I can use my stove without the AC not working. Because if it gets too hot, the AC cannot keep up. So I'm kind of waiting on the weather to shift to the cooler side or get some rain or something before I heat up the house with dyeing wool. And then I'll be able to dye up the custom advent. I already have which colors for each day of the advent based off the theme that was requested, but I don't have the percentages and the weights and all of that yet. I do like to be a little scientific. I love math. Math doesn't usually love me, but I love math. And my brain doesn't like math. When it doesn't want to work, my brain cannot math. Can't count, can't do nothing. So, can't even English. Or any other language for that matter. So, I got a felt pumpkin, sheep, snowmen, mushrooms, scour and card up some alpacas, spinning if I have time. Maybe finish the new spin I just started. Maybe start another spin. Maybe work on the super secret Christmas project spin. Like I need to finish blending the fibers on the hackle and then take the waste and blend it on the drum carder. So I have two different types of yarns and both will be used in this project. I'm going to try to replicate on the drum carder what I've done on the hackle, but using the waste fiber from the hackle. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and tatting earrings. That's what's coming up as well. I'll be doing some earring tatting. I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. And I've got a few extra videos that I was supposed to have already filmed and just was most of the month. So I did the bare minimum and that was a lot. And I didn't get everything done on my plans list like I would plan to card up the other 3 colors. That didn't happen. I plan to make 2 more complete Rolex sets of the advent calendar. That didn't happen. That would be 24 sets of Rolex. I had planned to finish blending the fiber for the Christmas project. That did not happen. I had also planned to have the alpaca already scoured, which has not happened. It's like, but what I did do is on my phone. I did dye up all the advent calendar colors and made 12 sets of Rolex for one of the desserts. I'm very happy with that. I did knit 4 pair of socks, plus because I knit a whole sock and had to rip it out. So it would have almost been 5 pair, I can't count today. I did card 2 colors. I dyed 2 extras. I dyed 5 colors for the pumpkins and carded 2 of those. That was progress. I've done a bunch of filming on bigger projects like vlog style projects. So a little here, a little there, trying to keep up with these long ongoing projects. Wrote show notes that I probably won't even look at, but I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to do anything, so my brain wouldn't shut up, so I made a bunch of show notes, which is just notes in a Word document, Google Docs, of what clip, of the individual clips in a video series I'm working on, what I need to say in voiceover or the next time I speak, what I spoke about when I did a face-to-face, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun for me. I love doing that, but I don't usually look back on it later. Sometimes when I'm editing, it can be very helpful, but and here I am just rambling on and on because I don't want to stop filming. That's weird. I'm feeling weird today. Just feeling good. So I think that was everything. And of course, I didn't just tell you my plans for September, but kind of the rest of the year. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me. So I'm gearing up for, I'm really doing a lot more here on the YouTube channel. I'm very excited about it. I want to keep that going. I've got some new patterns I'm designing that I need to get completely written up, edited, tech edited. I'll probably have my mother check my grammar and consistency between the word knit and the letter K. Because there is so much inconsistency with that throughout my patterns. Like, I know that's a trouble spot for me. And then I need to go through and republish my older patterns that I used to have on Ravelry. I've decided to go ahead and put my patterns on Ravelry once they are tested. When I left Ravelry, I took all my patterns down and everything. This was, I don't even remember when. I'm really considering putting my patterns back up on Ravelry. I left Ravelry because of a bunch of political mess that happened several years ago before COVID. And it became, Ravelry became a hate place. And I didn't need that in my life. When an individual ran for presidency and made it into the office, there was a whole lot of patterns that came out on Ravelry that were hate this person. And people were allowed to hate that person and persecute everyone who supported him, but not the other way around. And I thought, if Ravelry was going to crack down on haters in one category, they should crack down on all haters. And that's why I left. Not for political reasons, not because I disagreed with policies, but because it was double standard and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I am no longer active in the community on Ravelry, but I do use it to track some of my projects, and very little of my hand spun just never makes it into Ravelry. But I use it as a pattern database and I track my projects. And I find that to be very, very helpful. And I think I want to put my patterns back up on Ravelry because I took them down. I was really upset at the inconsistencies, and I sent a note to whoever was running Ravelry and told them, this is not acceptable. This is not okay to allow people to hate, to bully the ones who support the person you guys are against, but we're not allowed to bully you. I'm sorry, I'm not okay with that. If you're going to cut hate, you need to cut all hate. And I think any patterns that have hateful language in them, and I mean, you have color work yoke on your sweater that says the F word and somebody's name, that's hate language. I won't wear something like that. And I would never develop a pattern like that. And I would never hate another person so much that I would want to do that. So I don't understand where all this hate was coming from. And I don't understand why the people who said this is wrong were bullied. So I left Ravelry. And I've just started getting back into it. I was very into the community. I was doing knit-alongs. At the time, Haya was doing monthly knit-alongs, and whoever was the hostess of the knit-along would have a chance to win a set of interchangeable knitting needles as a hostess gift. And so that's how I got my 3 sets of interchangeable needles from Haya, was I did volunteered to be the hostess 3 different times for 3 different knit-alongs, and it was a huge success. I loved every minute of it. May have been 4 of them. but then life got in the way and I couldn't do it, and then I ended up leaving Ravelry anyways. And now Ravelry is one of the most controversial knitting sites that there are. And I still think it's a fantastic resource, but I don't think it's the greatest community overall. For me, it's another platform to have to finagle and remember to check in on, and I'm just not going to do it. So I'm not doing knit-alongs, test knits, any kind of activities in the Ravelry group. I'm doing all of that through Facebook. All of my test knitters are on Facebook or Instagram, and that's the platforms, and here on YouTube, that I choose to use. I do have a Ko-fi page, and I am still early releasing content there, as well as to the membership part of YouTube. And even though I don't have any members on YouTube at the time of filming this, so as of August 31st, 3 p.m., there were no YouTube members yet. And that's okay. It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to have the same setup on YouTube as I have on Ko-fi, and that way it's easier for me to track. So, but I don't know that what I'm doing is working on Ko-fi, so I may have to try something else there. I don't know. I have too many platforms to keep track of and too much to do, and I'm spread too thin, and I don't like that. But people have asked, is there a way I can support your channel, support what you're doing? And so I made Ko-fi. It's like, sure, send me a coffee, send me a donation. And I've got a few lovely monthly supporters, and it's great. Eventually, I will get the electric drum carder I desperately need for my back. Whoa, that's really cool, because I was carding, I don't remember if I did the green first or the purple first. I think I did the green. The one I picked up first. I was looking at the other one. So my man ran the drum carder for me. You'll see that in a few days. It's going to be in the carding for pumpkins video that's coming out in a week or two. That's why I've got to get the other colors done, so I can finish filming that, so I can get it out for you guys. So yeah, I feel like I've rambled on forever, and at this point I don't even remember what I've said, what I haven't said. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's rambly episode. I have certainly enjoyed hanging out with you, and as per usual, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!